Imagine a place where everyone is there and talking their own language, and you have no idea what they are really talking about. How do you feel about that? Well, that's not cool. So I'm Tharique Azeez, language coordinator for the Tamil for the Open Translation. So I'm here to tell you how you can be a part of these vibrantly and amazingly talented translators who are making ideas worth spreading available to the world. So let's get the ball rolling. Before we get into the details, let's find out why it's important to have translation for the TED Talks in the first place. It turns out ideas are worth nothing unless executed. So it's really important to understand the idea and to implement it. If we can enable those ideas accessed by the people who are living in rural areas and who do not speak English, we can make them to feel and initiate those ideas in their locality. By doing that, we can help them to contribute to the development, creativity, innovation in their locality. So there is a need for translation. For that, TED initiated a project called Open Translation Project. It started with 40 languages, and for the initial part, they had 300 translation done by 200 translators. But if you look at right now, the stats are staggeringly high. So now it has 78,000 plus translations, translated by 21,000 translators around the globe, and supported 108 languages. So it's a massive project going on. So let's look at our local language we speak in Sri Lanka, which is Sinhala and Tamil. For Tamil talks, we have 47 translators helped in making 97 translation. And for the Sinhala, we have 7 translators and contributed making 7 translation. And I would love to have lots of translators for both languages so that we can make all these translation available to the world. By end of this event, I would have a couple of dozens people enrolling these things and make initiative worthwhile. So there are 3 T's, well, 3 ways you can be a part of this amazingly vibrant community. The first one is translate. Obviously, you need to know 2 different languages to translate. But the translation project is done by a platform called Amara, which enables you to have all the mechanism to do all these translations. But the translation process works like this. The first you translate something and it held for the review. There's an experienced translator who will come and comment on your translation. If that they feel like it's a great translation, they will compliment you and approve that. Or if they feel like they need an improvement, they will tell you and collaborate with you, and it's a fun way to collaborate and learn in the process. After that, it held for the approval, where a language coordinator or a TED staff will approve that. Once they approve it, it will go live on TED.com. So that's the real process. But don't fret, there is resources for all these things. We have Facebook group and translation wiki and language-specific groups for all these things, as well as dedicated YouTube channel with all the translated mechanism explained, and you can use that to make yourself aware about this, how you can be a part of this community. So if you want to get it started, you can go TED.com/translate. The second one is you can contribute to the TRANSCRIBE. The transcription is the heart of translation. If you don't have a transcription, you can't initiate the translation. So normally, all the TED Talks comes with transcription, but for the TEDx events, you need to have transcription. Let me tell you an example. Maybe next year, the TEDxColombo will host a speaker with native language like Sinhala. While those talk will be transcribed into Sinhala and can be translated into English, from that we can have all the languages, like 106 languages. In the very idea comes from Sinhala language, but made into different hundreds of language. From that, we can be a part of global conversation with our own idea. And that's the beauty of this transcription effort. So it's also help for the people who may have difficulties in hearing, and the Google itself index all this transcription so that people can search on Google and find you. And as always, it's helped for the OTP project as well. To get started with that, you can go TED.com/transcribe. The third one is tell people. Just because there are translation, TED Talks, doesn't mean all the people know about it. So we had to tell. But telling people just not coming like nothing. There's a built-in mechanism in TED.com itself that you can track your influence. If you go to TED.com and use like sign in your account, okay, so that you'll be given a unique URL which you can share with your family and friends. While sharing those URLs with your family and friends, you will have an access to how many people you get asked me to come to those sites. So it's a kind of a social influence tracking, but still you are helping making ideas available to the world. So it's a nice thing to have. So find that you can translate, you can transcribe, and you can tell people. But, well, that's a big but, right? But, okay. What's the point of making this translation in the first place? So why contribute? Well, it turns out there are lots of benefits from making translation in the first place. When you translate something, you get to know all those ideas, so you start to share with your community. From that, you'll become a thought leader in your community. And the next one is TED Translator tag, which looks awesome on your CV. So that will make start the conversation from your interview or anything like that. So it's a kind of cool thing to have. And you may get surprises in your inbox, like TED itself send you an invite to take part in a global conversation. Maybe it can be in Canada or Brazil, wherever it is, but you can be a part of it when you keenly contributing to those projects. And your name will be credited with your profile link so that people can visit your profile and get access who you are and what are you really contributing to. And some pleasant surprises like translation jobs that people may come to you to have when you contribute to these things. And you also collaborate with like-minded people. And also, translating is a learning process. Like, say, I personally know people who actually read a book from the speaker itself to get the translator talk available, because you don't really translate word to word, but you translate the context. So it's really important that you get the idea of a speaker and to translate that available into that talk. So there is always a learning thing happening. So when you translate, you don't just translate, you start to learn things. So it's a great opportunity to learn. Of course, we learn and grow. so that there is a need. So I think you already got to know about OGP project and all sort of things. I believe after this event, there are dozens of people come along and making these ideas who are spreading available in Tamil and in Sinhala, so that we can contribute to the betterment of our country and having those ideas in our local language, as well as our ideas in the local language, local ideas can be go global and making part of global conversation. So I'll be around here. If you can talk to me, I'll be around here. You can talk to me, and if you can send me email as well. And thank you. You've been awesome, and enjoy the rest of the talks. Thank you.